couple of weeks, but it's here. It's the Avengers Infinity War spoilers, review, and discussion. This is on the real. We're going to get dirty here. I'm your host, Steve Johnson, and joining me today to talk about this thing is my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson. How you doing today, sir?
How y'all doing out there in TV land?
All right. And the last best hope for the resistance, Mr. Woods.
What up?
Congratulations, he got it right this time.
I did.
But wait,
you
gotta keep with the consistency.
I'm proud of myself.
You got another one?
No, not another one.
Okay.
I'll save it.
All right. Well,
we're just going right in for this one.
We're going right in. So
no Vaseline.
Right. Let's talk about this thing. Like, what have you been dying to say for the 2 weeks now that it's been out?
This movie was amazing.
Okay.
It was great.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest, MCU film of all time. I like Winter Soldier. That's what, for me, Winter Soldier, is a personal big favorite, but man, Infinity War, man, it hit on all levels. It delivered.
I've been dying to say 3 words to a Mr. Peter Quill. Smooth move, dinkus.
Jesus.
The F, man.
Right.
The F. We were all rooting for you.
Well, sometimes
they had it right in the fingertips. They had it.
It was right.
Dumbass.
All right. You know what?
There.
Since we're just straight into these spoilers, like,
this is a spoiler. Yeah, like, come on. Like, what's this?
Why does Peter Quill get all of this? Like,
everyone's seen this movie.
Morass. Why don't we give Gamora any?
You want to know why? Because this is a
man's world. Gamora.
Why are you coming at what?
No. I'm coming at Gamora.
Why are you coming at Gamora?
Right. She took Thanos to Vormir and so that he could get the Soul Stone. Because
Nebula was getting ripped
well,
apart.
his girl got killed. So he's not supposed to be upset?
So Nebula.
Let me ask you a question.
So Gamora's supposed to just allow Nebula to get ripped apart?
You want to know why?
For half of the universe?
After they bonded so well in Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Because they bonded so well, her life is worth half the universe.
After they bonded so well in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I'm telling you this right now. If it ever comes up to Thanos is going to torture me versus killing half the universe, just let him torture me. Okay? Like, is one life worth that much?
Yes.
So
if it's someone who's personal to you,
don't get to choose.
Gamora was personal to Star-Lord.
Yo, fams.
No, I'm just saying.
So she's just gonna let her sister
what do you? I don't know.
Lives. You're reaching right now.
I don't think that I.
Didn't Vision say some shit like that about trading lives?
And that's another point.
Good point.
That was the theme of this movie. Like, we don't trade lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One life is not more important than the other, man.
And everybody who traded a life ended up losing, except for Thanos. Thanos traded his daughter's life, and he definitely won.
He's a winner.
For now.
He's a winner.
For now.
It's the year of the bad guy.
Yeah, man, he's a winner. Listen.
So he won the battle,
first shot,
but he didn't win the Infinity War. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
I see exactly what you did there.
It's these favorite moments in the movie that just kind of caught eye. Anybody wants to touch on that?
Okay. So I think for me, the back and forth between Tony and
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just
intellectual
the best
sparring.
Part of the movie was probably like that first 10 minutes when they were going back and forth and Tony was all like calling Ebony Maw Squidward and shit.
It was that New York battle was crazy.
Yo,
and
out the gate.
Or when Tony was saying to Banner, he's like, "Oh, you just gonna embarrass me in front of the Wizards?"
No. Hold on. We gotta correct something here. You just brought up Steve talking about that they started out the gate with that battle in New York. No, they started out the gate where Hulk
getting washed.
Yeah.
Oh, slow down.
No. I waited. That's
that he didn't show up for the rest of the goddamn movie.
The engine had to start up. I'm a little slow. Okay. I'm getting up there. So the engine had to start up. But that's what I've been waiting 2 mother effing weeks to say. All right. is that Hulk got washed.
So you feel good about yourself?
I feel great. He
Yo.
got them hands put on him.
Hulk got washed, rinsed, and dried, bro.
In the first 5 minutes, I started my clock to just see how long it took before Hulk didn't want that work.
Okay. All right. I see.
You don't want zero problems?
He took him to the chop shop.
Zero problems.
He took him to the chop shop.
Okay.
And he said no mas. Was it Roberto Duran all over again?
Okay.
Was it Roberto Duran all over again?
Okay. Now let's look.
But on some real spiel.
Yeah. Oh, wait,
but you know, this is somebody's
favorite
character.
I got.
He was talking so much when we was talking about Thor and Hulk, and he was just like, "Yo, but clearly your Hulk is the strongest." Blah 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 blah.
He's the strongest Avengers. What do you want me to? Right,
no, he's not. Thor is clearly the strongest Avenger.
Can I just hear that again?
Way stronger.
Oh, can I just hear that one more time?
Way stronger than the Hulk.
See, I see what y'all doing.
Yikes!
Because he was washing Hulk up in Ragnarok and they didn't cheat for him.
No, that's not how that happened.
Oh,
that's not how that happened.
Washing him up.
No. See, I knew this was gonna happen.
Yo,
I knew all of this would happen.
Listen,
I knew it.
Wait, hold on. Was Hulk there?
Was Hulk? What do you mean? Was Hulk there?
Was Hulk there?
Where?
Bruce Banner was there.
But Hulk was there in the beginning.
Bruce Banner showed up.
Okay.
He even put on the Hulkbuster's outfit.
They wanted to give Bruce Banner the chance to be the hero.
Oh, that's what
it is. It's because
Mark Ruffalo
because just they're like,
is what
it's just like I want screen time as me. I don't want to just be the big CG thing.
Okay.
Now just listen to what I'm saying.
Last time I checked,
I feel like they could give him that, but just to make Hulk talk more. Then you get more lines.
He did call him out. He said, "No."
No, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. Think about this. Every time the Hulk comes out,
it's only when Banner wants to bring him out.
Yeah, right, and basically
he didn't want that work.
Jail. He's back in jail every time. Right?
He
didn't want that work.
You want to call me when it's a fight. Deal with Thanos yourself.
Yeah,
he didn't want that hand.
I guarantee it. When Hulk comes back as World Breaker Hulk, or comes back as the Red Hulk, hands is getting put on everybody.
He didn't want that work. Yo, Thanos didn't even have two gems.
Or he's just gonna stay Hulk.
He didn't even have two
gems. No way. It's just like if you need me to save the world, like you can't do it on your own. You need me, right? So it's just like, and then you want to just suppress me for like years at a time? No, it don't work like that.
Yo, that's hot and everything, but Hulk didn't want that smoke.
No, it's not that. Like you can't keep trying to use the guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to use Hulk. Come out, fight.
We got a pity party for the Hulk.
Stuff.
We got a pity party for the strongest. We got a pity party for the strongest Marvel character ever.
No. But
hold on. Tried to kill the Hulk.
Let's be clear though. No.
And Hulk spit the bullet back out.
We need to really get this thing clear before we can move on. Hulk. Have you even read the World Breaker Hulk storyline?
Have you ever seen Hulk in the Infinity War movie? Because I didn't.
Okay.
Let me explain to you this.
Hold on. No. Let me say this. I'll let y'all talk.
After Thanos kills everyone, he has Hulk on a leash.
Okay. Except that Hulk ended up getting off of that leash. Now, let me tell you this.
He didn't want that work.
Let me tell you, all of y'all this. World Breaker Hulk. That storyline, Hulk went to Battle World because the Illuminati sent him there. That was Namor. That was Tony Stark. That was
Mr. Fantastic. Yes, I know about this.
Okay, so he goes to Battle World. He basically runs things over there, and then he gets a wife, and his wife is pregnant. And then something that the Illuminati did caused the ship that they were on to explode. And then he ends up losing his wife. Right, and he thought he lost his son, and he came back to kill everybody, and nobody could stop him. Because the thing about Hulk is, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. There's no limit to his strength. That was a little too quick. That was a little quick two-piece, and he didn't have a chance. So it's the same thing in Ragnarok. The fight was getting started. You think Hulk was just going to lay down right there? Yes, they cheated because they didn't want them to tear up the stadium.
Ebony Maw walked over to him and said, "You got knocked the fuck out."
Nah, man.
He got washed. Heimdall had to get him out of there before he got killed.
I think Courtney
was just like, "Yo, you embarrassing yourself, man. Get him on out of here."
Don't disrespect the Hulk. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Say yo.
All I'm saying is don't disrespect the Hulk. Can we move on?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about the movie, sir? Unless it was Hulk getting the drop caught on him.
I mean,
because Hulk wasn't even ready for all of that.
He got them hands put on him, man. That's all I'm saying. He got them hands put on him.
And the whole thing is, Thanos just washed him up. He didn't even use.
Yeah,
the
he
stones.
was washed.
He had the Power Stone, so he could have been using the Power Stone. You don't know that.
It was there was a number of favorite parts that I had in the movie. One of them was just the interaction with the Peter Quill, Iron Man. That whole scene when they got the drop on them and they're like going against each other. That little conversation.
Boom.
Yeah, not even the fight with Thanos, but that conversation when they were inside when they first got to Titan. And he was like, who's Gamora? And he was like, what is Gamora? And then he said that 50% of me is 100%.
Yo,
whatever. Like, just all of those things were so hilarious, man.
Courtney, kudos to you, sir. He says Thor can't beat the Hulk, Thanos can't beat the Hulk.
Okay, so I guess
he had to use his HGH Power Stone.
So I guess Court just showed up 5 minutes late.
What?
When Hulk was already put down to the ground.
How Thor can't beat Thanos?
When we just saw him use Stormbreaker.
Because he didn't.
The finger got snapped. So of course he didn't beat him.
Hold on.
Did Thor die?
Hold on.
Thor beat him. He had to run away. He had to back off into it, like whatever, and phase away.
He could have snapped his finger and phased out Thor if he wanted to.
Whatever.
Okay, wait. Let's just talk about, and I know we all over the place, but
Thor can beat him.
Let's talk about
Thor did beat him.
Let's talk about Thanos.
He was dead. If he didn't snap his finger and then go into whatever and heal himself, Thor beat him and then he disappeared because he got washed up because his glove don't work no more. So Thor did beat him. He accomplished what he did, but Thor wiped the floor with him.
But
this man gets it.
Let's talk about.
All right, let's talk
about Thanos. Though.
All right.
Right. Why he was such a dope villain other than washing up everybody. I know a lot of people giving Hulk shit. Everybody had to team up.
Yeah, everybody
on him
got washed.
Couldn't.
Yeah.
Smacked Captain America. Captain America. Oh, you're catching my hands. That's cute. Bow. By the way, we thought that he was dead right there from the trailer, but he just said, "I could kill you."
No,
just punch
the
you in
trailer
the
was
alive.
Okay, you saying when he was like grabbing him and looking him in the eyes? Yes.
Funk Flex voice.
Right. Yeah, but, and we're gonna come to the trailer.
Misdirection.
In a second. But what I'm saying is, like, he just dealt with everybody.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? All of that little jumping around. Oh, magic with a kick.
Yo, he choked him.
He was like, insect. Sit your ass down.
Choked him, man.
You out here,
man. My God.
Yo, Thanos was out here kicking names and taking ass, bro.
Yeah.
No, but how dope was Iron Man's new costume?
Huh? Oh, nanites.
The nanites?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked mad cartoony.
You better get a vibranium one from Shuri for the next movie if you want to see Thanos with that.
Iron Man did his thing. He showed out.
And all that. I was like, yo.
Yeah, he showed out.
All of that for a drop of blood, though.
All that for a drop of blood.
It's like, that was cute.
Yo, but Thanos,
put him there.
But Thanos to just, one of the things that was so dope to me and how they showed Thanos is that they were giving the fans who like followed Thanos for a long time through video games and comics and stuff like that.
Or who just been waiting them for the 6 years since the first Avenger movie.
But it's an amalgamation of all of that. There's, as I said previously, people who've never picked up a comic book were introduced to a villain that they haven't seen before and either liked or they cheered for him, even in his villainy, right? Or they just were just mad because he was just so dope and OP, right? And then there's people who followed Thanos and through video games and comics, as I said, for a long time. And they catered to everyone in that aspect where you were explaining Thanos in such a way that it made sense for people who never have been introduced. And you were letting the people who know, you were rewarding them for knowing about Thanos for so long. So him using the Reality Stone, for him turning Peter Quill's gun into bubbles, for just all these little things that he was doing. That's video game stuff.
A lot of people wouldn't get that, right?
It's all comic book references.
Yes, comic book and video game references. That was so dope, man.
The whole turning Drax into cubes and all that. That's all comic book references. Spider-Man shooting the web in his eye, all references.
So dope, man.
You know what else I like? They have basically been paying attention to the audience this whole time and just said the things that you were thinking. Like, there are people that believe the new Spider-Man, right? you know, you might like the new Spider-Man was dope, right? Wasn't as good as Spider-Man 2. But no, I'm just saying Spider-Man in general, the new Spider-Man in
Homecoming.
the MCU.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The latest iteration.
But, there are people that feel some kind of way that he's like Tony Stark's
Ward?
And the fact that Doctor Strange was like, what's your relationship here?
Is this your
because
Ward?
Spider-Man is such a big character. He doesn't answer to anybody. That's Spider-Man's whole thing. I just get it done on my own.
Right.
And the fact that he has to answer to Tony Stark and beg Tony Stark for stuff, some people felt a way about that.
Right.
And the fact that Doctor Strange brought it up, like, what's the relationship here?
Right.
Is he a little son?
Right.
That's it? Like Spider-Man is Tony's son? What are we doing here?
Right.
He mentors him, man.
I felt like it was a little knock to Batman and Robin's relationship. Like, it was just, oh, man, it's so dope.
I mean, I get it, though, because it's just like you've already done that with, like, Spider-Man and, let's say, the Green Goblin or Spider-Man and, Doc Ock or Spider-Man and whoever, where it was just like teacher and student, and then they end up fighting, but this time it's just like, okay, he makes him a better superhero.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know if you paid attention to that one.
I absolutely did not pay attention.
Yeah, he just
dropped
the gem. He clearly just dropped a little gem. He said you got to look at it from the aspect of that it's been teacher and student with Spider-Man, even on his own. It was teacher and student when it was Doc Ock and Spider-Man. It was teacher and student, or at least some type of respectable relationship when it was him and Green Goblin, right? In that little mentorship process. Now you're just watching it on the other end of him as being Iron Man's pupil in his own way. But he's going to grow and be his own person. You missed that whole thing.
Yeah, man.
No, I get it. It's just
even when
weird
Iron Man was saying,
like,
hey, come in, be my son, he was just like, nah, I'm going to just stick to being my neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
Oh, when he told him to join the Avengers the first time, right?
Yeah. Okay, so this is very, and again, we're all over the place, and it was very emotional, and it worked very well. We'll come to the ending. But as a Spider-Man fan, there were two characters I read, and you know this because we grew up together. There are two characters I read. I read the Hulk, and I read Spider-Man coming up. Those were the ones. And I read other people because they showed up in those people's comics, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man was the man growing up, and the fact that he had to beg, he was like begging Tony, like, yo, I don't want to go. I felt it here, but I'm like, yo,
begging Tony how?
Like crying to Tony. I don't.
So you telling me a 15-year-old is not going to be afraid of
that? I get it.
Just like, yeah.
I got this.
I get it.
You thought he was going to be like Cleo and set it off?
You're not listening to me. It works narratively. Like, I'm not saying it didn't. It was dope. I loved it. I don't have any problem with it.
I get Black Panther, like he's a king and this is no place to die. I get that. But a kid is going to be terrified because you start to feel like you're fading away. Like anybody, terrified.
You saw how it was all fun and games in Homecoming until when he got crushed by the... what was it, like the building when the Vulture had dropped like that building on him, and he started freaking out or whatever.
Yeah, because he's a kid.
These are growing pains for him.
I know. I get
He'll be better. He'll mature, man. Let the kid live, man.
So, but I'm saying, like, why are you saying that? Like,
why are you coming down on my man Peter
like that? As a kid,
I thought you was a fan.
Who looked at Spider-Man. I love it. I'm just saying.
Nah, you was just hating on the kid, bro.
See, this is the problem, man. We can't have a real discussion. It's like you gotta either I loved it. I gave the movie a 10 out of 10. I have no problems with the movie. I have no problems with the way they set it up. What I'm saying is, as a separate thing, as a fan of Spider-Man,
yes,
I want Spider-Man to be the man. I want him to be his own man and doing shit on his own. And the Avengers is coming to him, begging him, and he's manning up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was the whole thing about Spider-Man always. Like, yo, he never had the extra shit that everybody else had. He just had to make it work. He was broke all the time. I don't know how he got that bad wife. You know what I'm saying?
You know how he got that bad wife. Using spider senses.
Yeah, but the point is,
making her tingle, man.
He's always struggling, and that's why the Peter Parker character is so interesting because he does stuff on his own with no help.
Right.
And he just does it by having that grit. And so the fact that and I get it, this is not a problem with the MCU, but I'm just saying the Spider-Man that I know, they went a different way, and that's fine.
Do it your way then. They have to do it a different way because we've seen it.
I'm not
the same way 100 times. You know, Aunt May, Uncle Ben die. You know what I'm saying? They make some rice, whatever. It happens the same way all the goddamn time.
All right.
They gotta switch it up.
All right. All right. So here's the next thing. Do you feel like we got enough Steve Rogers and Black Widow?
I feel like we ain't get enough Black Panther.
We're coming to that because the whole third act was in Wakanda.
Yeah, but Black Panther didn't even really get to. I mean, it's in his place.
You want Black Panther? You can literally go see the Black Panther movie right now.
Yes,
yeah, but
you didn't need.
Depending on who you ask, you don't really see Black Panther. You see everyone else but Black Panther in Black Panther.
Except that T'Challa had the most screen time, but sure. I mean, whatever, right?
Depends. Listen,
whatever narrative they want to pull.
Whatever narrative, that people want to pull, depending on who you ask, it's like, oh, it wasn't even about Black Panther.
Whoever wants to get mad about it.
Black Panther?
Huh? No, people say they like, oh, well, it's not really about Black Panther. The movie's more so about like, what's this guy's name who died? Killmonger. It's
and the women.
Or the women of Wakanda, or something like that. Like, why can't it just be about everybody?
No. It was about everybody, and I think people aren't used to watching a movie where the other characters are so fleshed out. And this is why I compare.
You want to know why? Because they kind of gave him backstory in Civil War, so you knew that why he became king, how he became king. Like, what was his motivation? They got to introduce all these other people.
I don't think they made the other characters more important, but they made them just important. Like, think about the moment in Infinity War when you saw, even though it didn't last long enough, when you saw Black Widow and then Okoye team up on Proxima Midnight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? It was like stand up cheer because it's like Okoye is just like in the fabric of the MCU now because they're just Shuri, all fan favorites
like
now.
Established now.
And when you watch a Captain America or a Thor movie, there's other standout characters in it, but none of them really that you say they deserve a movie, right? Like, they took the time in Black Panther to flesh out every character there, whereas when I go to see Thor, I'm following what Thor's doing, not like all the 5 or 10 different side characters.
So you wasn't following Korg?
No, Korg is amazing. I need
Korg.
I need a Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek movie almost
Meek
as much as
dead.
I need. Meek's dead. Almost as much as I need a Thor and Sweet Rabbit movie.
Yeah, Thor, Rabbit, and freaking what you call it? And Tree.
Oh, and Tree.
Yo, what if that was
Meet my friend Tree?
So like Meek, Thor, and Rocket.
Like, I'm cool with that. Now
it's like, yo, they just keep them dust.
To answer
keep Quill dust.
Answer
and
your
give
question.
Me a Sweet Rabbit movie.
Steve Rogers. I personally wanted to see more Captain America doing this thing or whatever. He's
the writers, right? Because think about this: the team that did Infinity War is the same team back from Winter Soldier. So it's Marcus and McFeely, the writers, along with the Russo brothers.
Right.
And they have some second unit directors from John Wick and stuff like that, right? For the action scenes. So we're talking about this trajectory. How's this for a trilogy for you? Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, all the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a second, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Marcus and McFeely said they would love to do a 5-hour movie that's just Cap and Black Widow and Falcon on the run.
Okay.
They got that written. You know what I mean?
Right,
but you need the green light for that.
But you got to green light it. Okay. Yeah, because I want to.
Because they have a whole story for them. Like, they could tell you exactly what they were doing for 2 years.
But that's how the real writing works. Where you have stories that no one sees, but you know how it leads up to this point of him showing up in wherever he was in Europe. You know, him showing up right there at that time. That time, you know, the train's passing through, and he so happens to help Vision.
Okay, so I just want to bring.
So all that shit is written, and all that shit you said that
they wrote it down. They're not gonna make it.
They threw it right in the recycle bin.
No, it's not that. You need
saved
that
on the hard drive.
When you have all of that stuff written down, when they are on screen, their eyes can tell you that stuff.
Yep.
Like, you didn't have to see it to know that there's a history between Bruce and Natasha.
Exactly.
Did you not?
No. I'm saying when they walked in and they looked at each other and he said, "Hey, Nat." And then who you call it was like, "This is awkward." And then they were like,
"Ain't there a history between Natasha and freaking Winter Soldier that they never showed us?"
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That stuff is there. So
they never.
But they don't have to, and that's the point. You write that stuff, but you'll show it on screen in other ways, so that it doesn't feel forced.
If I could interject Justice League,
and then go ahead, and then I want to read some stuff that Courtney, because Courtney is lighting up the boards.
What you say about like, oh, you get to see it. You can't say everybody gets it, because some people are just dumb. Because I talked to people and it was just like, oh, this movie was all over the place. It wasn't all that. Because
why did you continue that conversation?
I mean, I was just like, clearly you don't know the F you're talking about, and I have no respect for your opinion. But because you're a damn follower and you just watched it to keep up with the Joneses. Like,
my coffee almost just went through my nose right
like, now. I saw it because, I want to see what all the fuss is about.
I have no respect
you was just
for
like,
your
why
opinion.
is this and why is that? Dude, there's 18 other movies that you're supposed to watch to do your goddamn homework, my guy. It's just like there was a reason why.
I didn't feel like you had to watch all those movies.
Had to have. If you wouldn't have known where, like that, like it pays off more.
Yes, no, I agree with you that it pays
with
off.
Rocket taking the eye out of his butt, whatever, because that paid off. Because when he stole the dude's eye in Guardians, whatever,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just so he could give it to Thor in this movie. Or it's just like even after credit scenes. Like, if he told me there wasn't no after credit scene, I was just like, that shows how much you goddamn know.
Right.
You know? Like how when people walk out and you just look at them crazy, like, you dumb mother effer.
Right.
Even though they got us that one time with Captain America, you just they're like, why you guys still sitting there?
Yo,
you guys
that was
like,
so,
oh, you mother
that was
effers.
so clean. Now, I just think that the film itself was just a series of like
splash pages.
No, just a series of acts, right? So it was like Act 1 is with Spider-Man and Iron Man and Doctor Strange.
By the way, Courtney says you had no business talking to them people in the first place.
Well, what was it, before I talk about these acts, what was it that
people come to me and tell me their opinion. It's like, yeah, I finally saw it.
No, so some of Courtney was saying, like, he said a better mentor, a better analogy to Peter Parker's mentor would be the Lizard. The Lizard mentored him more than Harry Osborn did.
That was absolutely his mentor.
They were closer.
In the Origins, yeah.
And then he said, Peter is super
You talking
smart.
in the comics or in the movie?
I mean, in the comics and the cartoon.
Because in the movie, it kind of.
They went all over the place. They didn't use the Lizard.
I thought the Lizard as well, but it's just like I figured you got my point because it's always that dichotomy of teacher,
someone who's mentoring Peter,
somebody older who's mentoring him,
right?
And most times it goes south. Most times it ends up being a bad guy, but this time,
right? No,
it
I
was
understand
a
what you
positive
said.
father figure.
And then Courtney also says, and this is true, we got to talk about Vision's performance issues. This was a problem. Like, Vision did nothing. You're supposed to be
that's what bothered me. That's what bothered me
about that earlier. I was just there like, you have a god. You're supposed to be the most powerful one behind Thor and freaking Doctor
Hulk,
Strange.
You don't even say Hulk. What? Yo, what's going on here?
Yo,
Doctor Strange was super OP. Wow, you know what? I want y'all to remember, and I'm glad we're recording this because we're gonna go back when Hulk comes back as World Breaker Hulk.
I get that. We're not talking about what Hulk can do. We're talking about what he did.
But look at the work he's been putting in. It's just what.
Yeah,
what have you done for me?
Exactly. What did you do this movie? You didn't do shit to stop him.
No.
you Hulk was being petty when you could have stopped this shit. But you wanted to be petty.
You know what I think is going to happen? Like real rap, and we'll talk about this later.
Like the fate of the world is at stake, and you just like no to be petty?
And he said no.
Okay, but this is what I really want. So in
Hulk is weak mentally.
What I think is going to happen, because he didn't.
He's in his terrible twos. That's my only forgiveness for him is that he's in his terrible twos.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And how dope is it that they're just slowly building up the Hulk? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they said he's gonna get his movie over a series of movies.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he gets smarter and smarter a little bit.
Right. Yeah, man, I want to see him talking regular conversation. I like a 2-year-old, not dumb.
This is what I see is.
It's like how you build up to it, like with the suits and all them just appearing.
Right.
I think something's gonna happen to Black Widow, and Hulk is gonna lose it.
Yeah, she's gonna die.
Lose it, and then you tell me who's washed up by who if something happened to Black Widow.
I get all of that, but did he or did he not get washed up by Thanos in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
He got that
Did
work.
He not get washed up.
4 minutes
by
and 57 seconds in, he got that
he
work.
Got He even said it himself.
He got that work.
Courtney is the only backup I got here.
He said this suit beat the Hulk. So he got washed up by Tony Stark too, a regular human.
Okay, first of all, no, he didn't.
He got that
He got knocked out.
Banner built that suit.
Did he not get knocked out?
No, but Banner built that suit.
Yes or no?
Banner
That's
built
a yes
it.
or no question.
But he built it. He beat himself. That doesn't count.
Yo, you know it's bad when Thanos lifted him up and he slammed him into the ship. There was no bounce.
I knew.
There was no bounce. Just understand that for a second.
Hold on.
Anytime a character gets slammed
I knew that fight
there's a
wasn't
bounce.
going well when Thanos punched him in the shoulder.
And he said,
you know when you like slap boxing as a kid and then somebody goes too
hard? With your girl?
Hits you
hit her too hard? You hit your girl too hard, be like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. Oh.
Okay, but Courtney says y'all dragging the Hulk while Vision out here shitting in bed.
Yeah.
We get some. We get some.
I'm just talking about the Hulk because I see it's bothering you. I like seeing that look up in your face like you just go shit on the Hulk like that.
I waited for this. I don't wait for a lot of things, but I waited for this.
Hulk is my guy, though.
You got to understand, he's been crapping. For one, he didn't acknowledge Thor's power.
Yeah.
And then for 3, he was talking so high and mighty about Hulk. Rightfully so. Hulk is strong. But he was just making it seem that Hulk is so powerful that Thor is nobody. No, but you made it seem like MCU. Thor is nobody. And that's why I said that's why I was so happy about Ragnarok. Because Ragnarok showcased to a lot of people who are not in the know how strong Thor is.
He's like, I didn't know
did I make you the god of hammers?
That was dope. I didn't know how strong Thor was until Ragnarok.
That man was flying and breathing in space.
But he is still not as strong as the Hulk. There is literally no limit to the Hulk's strength.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
He will destroy.
I hear what you're saying.
The universe.
Thor is a god.
I hear what you're saying, but that's not necessarily true in the MCU because we haven't seen that yet. You see?
All right, let's go. Let's talk about Vision's.
Vision and then Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. Thank you,
She's
Russo
mad
brothers.
powerful. She's always been powerful,
though. Thank you, Russo brothers, for getting rid of that dumbass accent.
Nobody even noticed. It's like,
yo, that's crazy.
I noticed it right away, and I was happy.
Just said this shit
because that was the low point of Civil War. Listening to her try that accent.
Right? Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's bad. It's really
I didn't
bad.
even notice.
And the Russo brothers explained that. They said because she has been working as a spy with Cap, like that accent would give her away, and so they've been teaching her how to get rid of
shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how.
See
how they threw that in there.
Right.
That's mad convenient.
Why is she talking like that in the bedroom after smashing out Vision? Right. That was in the beginning before they went anywhere. We're not undercover. Why are you using the American accent?
Yo, it's crazy. Right. It's crazy how she's having sex with a high-tech sex doll. It's like you're having sex with a goddamn sex doll.
But I guess.
And then crying over the shit. But it's an effing robot. It came off of damn Tony's computer. And you here having feelings for that shit?
Is call Vision like a dildo?
He's a super dildo.
Well, I mean, maybe he needs some batteries because he wasn't working this movie.
No, he got an arc. Yeah, he's mad. He needs some energizers is what it is. He was using Panasonics or some shit, and them shits ran out.
No. He used the 99-cent Duracells from the corner store.
Yeah,
it's not really Duracell.
Nah, he was definitely trash though, man. Like, he gets stabbed. I understand he couldn't phase in and out, but after that, the only thing you do is shoot that little beam out
but it's just
the Mind Stone, and then that's
nothing with the Mind Stone. Like to control reality or whatever. You have some shit that can control people's reality and you did nothing with it.
Everybody is carrying him every single way. Yeah, Your Vision. Your Vision.
Think about this.
Like the Mind thing is just like...
You defeated Ultron.
No, it's so crazy because his whole plot line was like, he was so whack in this movie that his plot line was just kill me. I'm too whack for this. You gotta get me out of here.
Yo, man, they successfully said because people was just playing Hawkeye so much that they was just like, yo, nah, Hawkeye's just not in this because he probably you get like smacked
Hawkeye
out.
would have definitely put in more work than Vision put in this.
Hawkeye wouldn't have allowed that, even though he know he's dead. He wouldn't have allowed that. But Vision's just getting stabbed and screaming everywhere.
See. Here's the thing. Courtney points something out.
What's that?
Maybe the reason Vision was so whack is because he used up his battery in the bedroom with Scarlet Witch.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's very plausible. Is all.
Well,
I'm
you know,
I knew that. That's why I said he needed energizers, man.
So you're implying that he lost some of his energy, right?
Wow. Courtney said how they let him hold. Hold on. Whew. How they let him hold a Mind Stone and he's not even fit to carry Hawkeye's jockstrap. Hawkeye would have put in work in there.
Yo, he would have. Yo, but that was probably the thing that bothered me the most.
Hawkeye would have beat Thanos.
I know why they didn't, but I don't get like if there's everybody knew there was some world-ending shit going on, so why didn't all of them show up?
But I mean,
why did all of them not get the call?
They kind of did.
Even that conversation of like, oh, they didn't want to get arrested because they had too much to risk with their family, so they just like disappeared.
Yeah, but look, we're gonna know what Ant-Man was doing. He could have been caught in the quantum realm. You don't know what's going on there. He has his own thing.
So, you talking about in Ant-Man too?
Yeah. So
Ant-Man
we'll find that out before we give Ant-Man any shit. As far as what do you call it?
Clint Barton.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Think about what Thor said to when he met the Guardians, right? Oh, there's 2 of them on Earth, but the Avengers are there, so it's fine. Nobody believed that anybody could beat the Avengers. And Thor didn't even know they broke up.
That was his hubris, right?
So he because they've never lost before.
He figured Kevin Bacon might even be on there.
Yeah. He sent everybody, the Avengers have sent everybody running and hiding away.
Right.
As far as Thor knows.
He said we're the world's strongest superheroes. Nobody can beat us.
And Earth's mightiest heroes.
Yep.
That's why I think was like, yo, they got this. You know, it's another aliens invade New York.
They're good.
It's not.
Don't worry about it,
man. I got sequels to worry about.
Yeah, man. So I could picture that, and his wife was probably like, yo, sit your ass down.
That's what you gonna do with some arrows.
You got change these diapers real quick.
You know what happened? I imagine it was like The Incredibles. Like, honey, where's my super suit? He couldn't find that shit, bro.
Yo, Clint is home, iron is in his wife's drawers.
Being all domesticated.
Yo, why are you coming at Hawkeye, man?
They got him like he Mr. Mom out here.
He had other things to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, man.
He looked at that shit and was just like, yeah, nah, man, this is above my pay grade.
Yo, Courtney, chill, man. He said Vision out here looking like Jar Jar Binks.
Yo, he's that useless. Yeah, he was that useless.
Okay, let's talk about Thor, because if Ragnarok didn't solidify Thor as one of the dopest Avengers, because he was the one you just didn't care about.
Right.
Right? Like, you knew you needed him for the Avengers, but it's like, okay.
Right.
Right? But
I can't see it without him. He better not die in the next one.
This is what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
He's probably become my favorite.
That's a shift of acceptance.
Yeah, but like it was the combination of Ragnarok and then this, right? And Thor is now that he has Stormbreaker, like he is just right up there.
Right.
With Tony and Cap.
Which gives him access to the Bifrost, which means he can go anywhere.
Anywhere, anytime, anybody could get it.
Anytime he wanted to just use that shit, he can make the Rainbow Bridge.
So and the other thing,
Heimdall who?
The other thing though,
but it's true.
What about how dope Doctor Strange is right now?
He's always been that. He's the master of mysticism.
When
man.
he did that Last Dragon shit.
Oh,
and then there was just like 1,000 of him.
Yeah.
Shit! You know what the problem is though? Thanos was like, yeah, get that out of here, man.
You know what's one of the things?
It looked dope for that 2 seconds.
It looked dope for 2 seconds, and he just brought the real one back.
You know what's hilarious? When Thanos first showed up, and Doctor Strange was like, "Yeah, you're definitely a Thanos."
Yeah. He looked at it like, yeah, you look like a Thanos, man. You know, so
with your ball chin.
Once they were introducing Doctor Strange into the MCU, I'm like, yo, the game is changing. You know what I mean? Because that's opening up the multiverse. That's opening up understanding that you're going to see, obviously Iron Man's flying and stuff like that, but you're going to see, if you're bringing on someone like Doctor Strange, you're going to bring in a whole different level of characters that's just popping up on screen. and having regular conversations. So it just kept leading up more and more. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy was so important. That's why Doctor Strange is important.
That's why Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was so important, to give you the relationship between Gamora and Nebula.
That's why Guardians of the Galaxy was so important. That's why Doctor Strange was so important.
Say what you want.
You know, all these little things. Yeah, because obviously it opens up. It becomes more expansive when you got that gold group who are playing video games with people's lives, right? And so, or you have obviously they're introducing the
original,
the Celestials, and the Celestials' head is blown out, and they're going inside, right, and stuff like that, and how
the Celestial was in the first Guardians, though, right? Or was
they explained the Celestials and how they came by, but they didn't get too in depth. And then so in part 2, they showed a dead Celestial.
Yeah, and we're not rehashing Guardians 2, but I just think that I appreciate it because it felt so personal. Right. Like it was really like a character study, and everybody got time to go in and see who they are. Now, I do think they leaned too heavily into the jokes for part 2. But aside from that, I do think the writing, as far as character development and giving all of those characters motivations and making them feel real, to me that hit home more than the first one did. Personally.
Right. But look, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this good Infinity War movie,
which I say is the #1 MCU movie of all time, and you say is number
2. Number 2.
You put it, and you gave it the number 2 slot.
Deuces.
Only time I allow a number 2.
And that's what you give it.
Listen, Winter Soldier for me, bro. Winter Soldier for me is a phenomenal film from top to bottom. As much as dope as Infinity War is, and I don't have to defend this. I'm not even going to go in depth about it. But as dope as Infinity War is still for me, Winter Soldier is that movie. Just the concept, the story. How you're breaking down
I just
Captain America.
I will say this.
The movie is
about
dope.
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier did for me, for Cap, what Ragnarok did for Thor. Like, it made me really fuck with Cap. Like, oh shit, Cap is dope.
Right.
Because in the first I thought he was corny.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, but when you seen him in the Navy suit,
the way it
almost
opened
jet
up
black,
when he jumped out the ship with no parachute.
Yeah, it's just like balls to the wall and just effing crap up. It's just like that movie is like it makes you take superhero movies seriously.
Right.
It's like I'm not saying it's as good as, but it's on a level of filmmaking like the Dark Knight. You know, this could happen in the real world. It wasn't like this big thing and something coming out of the sky,
big explosions
and
all this craziness. That's why I like Winter Soldier.
I agree because the thing about Winter Soldier, and we said this before. But it was like the Marvel movies up until Winter Soldier they all had a certain feel and a certain tone to them. Right. Like you knew, and again, it's all in a connected universe, but they felt the same way. Like we're going to go here, we're going to have fun, this is the format. They've been doing that a lot as of late, but that was the first time where they're like, we're going to switch up the formula. Like we're not going to be held down by the superhero thing, right? We are like superhero movies can be more than one, can live in more than one genre,
right?
And you know that Winter Soldier is in the same ilk as Logan, as the Dark Knight, because, and even as Ragnarok, as just like a comedy like that, right?
Right.
But you know, so I all do props to Winter Soldier, but it's my number 5.
Well, there you go.
I'm just, that's
how you feel.
It's a lot. They put a lot of work in, man.
They put in that work, man.
Okay, well, also Courtney says Infinity War is his number 1, Avengers is his number 2, Winter Soldier is his number 3, all 3 of the Russo brothers films. Iron Man is number 4, and Black Panther's 5. That's a respectable list. Can't argue with it. It's not as good as my list, but it's respectable.
You're a side.
I'll allow. Okay.
I just like what they did.
I wouldn't say they had. I mean, they maybe had like 3 movies that were subpar, 3 or 4.
Yeah, but even those were just all right. Even the whack ones were just all right.
Watchable.
There's no like.
None of them are as bad as Justice League.
Or BVS.
Or Suicide Squad. None of them are that bad.
Exactly. you can't come at these guys, man.
They know what they're doing, man.
All right. So
they should make a statue of Kevin Feige and Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
I want to ask you guys another question. And this is a very interesting question. It's aside from the movie, but as a result, the snap happened.
Right.
We lost everybody.
Okay.
Right? Now, here's the thing. We know that in Avengers 4 is coming, whatever the title is going to be. And we're going to speculate as to what that title will be later. But the next Spider-Man movie will be out roughly a month or two after the next Infinity War, right?
Okay.
So my question is, we know Spider-Man got dusted, right?
Right.
How do we market the next Spider-Man movie? Do we have to wait until Infinity War, the next Avengers movie comes out? Does that mean they're going to have this big $250 million budget movie and then they can't show Spider-Man in the trailers? How does that work?
I have no idea how it works. But also, like, when Black Panther, like, even before it came out, and then I was just like, they're showing the Infinity War trailer. I was just like, why are they showing this shit so early? And Black Panther isn't even out yet. I was just like, isn't that taking focus off of Black Panther?
No, I think that obviously.
But then the way they showed the trailer is just like he was featured heavily in it, even though that was his entire part and his only speaking role in it.
No, but
they showed you all in the trailer. The only words he said was in the trailer.
No, but
get this
Kevin
man a
Feige
shield.
said
Get this man a shield.
Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers said they had no idea Black Panther was going to be this big, but they knew it was going to be big, and they were banking on it. So they made sure that the third act of Infinity War was there. That's why they a lot of what they were doing was hinged on Wakanda and Black Panther being a big deal.
Like, I got hyped when you heard the and you seen the big Panther there. I was just like,
okay.
Oh shit!
Yo, and you know what?
I looked over at Xavier and he was just there like this.
That was one of the things that made me just think, like, we talked about how DC does scores so well, and this in Infinity War, which could keep gushing about for so many reasons, how well it all came together. That's why I said it's just such a payoff for people who invested into these MCU films, that everyone had their theme music and it was original, and you knew when they were on.
Oh, Thor! When Thor came in,
yeah, but that's not his original music, though.
I know.
That's his music, though.
It is
that's
now.
His music forever.
No, but it was just so dope how it all came together like that, man. So that mattered to me. Like there was so many things that was popping off with Infinity
All
War.
I know is, like, even though it's just like the Guardians don't have any like specific music, but it's just like they have volumes of music.
Yeah,
and
like
when this shit came on, not to play it too long.
Right.
That bass stuff, and
right.
it was like,
and it just said
shit.
space. That's another thing.
But if they could play that, why couldn't they play the immigrant song?
They should have.
Yeah,
probably because they had to pay too much clearance.
I don't.
No.
There was no budget on this thing. There was like, spend what you want because we know we're gonna make all the money. This is what I really think it is. Just like, if you're thinking about, like, okay, we're editing and we're filmmaking, right?
Right.
You know what they should have played, though?
Hold on one second. What that moment was, that's a very get you hype song. And yes, you were hype when he came back. But for what was about to happen, I don't know if that, you being that hype, it needs to be serious and give you some hope. You get what I'm saying?
Been crazy.
No, it would have been crazy. It would have been fun, but I don't think they were going for fun in that moment. It was like,
it was super fun in that moment, though. It was super fun when you see how is it not fun when you see
I'm just saying, how do you go from immigrant song to Thanos showing up and killing everybody? I'm just saying that's probably what was going through their head.
I'm not saying while he's killing Thanos, but when he first shows up there and he's standing next to Rocket and Groot, yes, play that shit.
Let me ask you a question, though. Because in a fantasy world where I'm directing this thing and I actually have the talent to do it,
in the fantasy world, this is what they should have played.
Hold on. I would have had Thor come down with the axe, aim for the head, and then play Immigrant Song and then run the credits.
And then that's just it?
Thanks for your money.
Yo, this is what they should have dropped on 4K.
Oh, my God.
They should have dropped this.
Turn it on.
No, right now Thanos is on screen. That's what they should have shown when Thanos came out. When he came to the portal on Titan.
Right.
If you just walk through
and you hear that song,
once again you turn up the Mac.
I was really looking forward to Iron Man getting snuffed out, but instead,
yo, tell me you didn't think he was dead right there when he got stabbed with his old sword.
I actually like.
Yo, that was so ill.
None of them I thought when they disappeared into dust. I'm like, they'll all be back.
Right.
When Iron Man got stabbed, I was like, he's done. That's it. I thought he was done.
And then he
didn't use. It's not like when he turned Drax into whatever, you know, the cubes or this one into ribbon or whatever the hell like that. He's
used his weapon, ripped his cut, stabbed him.
He's done. Like my eyes got water. I was like, not Tony. And then he's just like, will they remember you? I was just like, because they hit the.
He said, I hope they remember you.
Like the misdirect, you thought that shit was gonna be capped. But I was just like, oh shit, Tony's done.
How dope was it? Right? How amazing was it that we did not see what was coming at any point of it? You know when you watch a lot of these movies and you just know how they're gonna play out, even when they're fun. Right? We had no idea who was gonna die and who wasn't. We had no idea who the dust was gonna take.
You didn't know how it was gonna play out.
Like, even if you knew the snap was coming, you didn't know who it was gonna take, how it was gonna play out. And the whole thing just had you straight up
on the edge of the seat. It was 3 hours almost. And the fact that you watched Tony
get stabbed and you believed, not like, oh, you know they got to bring him back. Like, and this is the difference. And I don't mean to, like, kick people while they're down.
No, but you're doing it. But when
in BVS, when Doomsday stabbed Superman, you're like, oh, I guess they're doing that.
Yeah,
so
that's the Superman
what?
We know.
Right? Like, it's not, you didn't feel that because they didn't
at
earn
all.
it.
I didn't think, not even before they showed the dust on the casket, I was like, there's no way he's dead. And I know that in the comics, Doomsday kills Superman. So whatever. Even though in the comics, I know that Thanos snaps his fingers.
Right.
And they gave you a lot of shit that's straight from the comic book, like little scenes is like straight from there, but they still did it their own way. Because like that him being in love with that shit is kind of stupid.
No, but they played on love. They played
How
on
do you
love.
personify? Like, what they're gonna make?
But this is the thing. They played on love,
well,
but it was the love for his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think they played on that Infinity Gauntlet comic.
No.
The way they did it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it was amazing.
For a movie this way.
Exactly. That's what I was
going
to say.
Everything that's written in the comic don't work cinematically.
And that's the understanding, not only from writers, directors, visionaries, and so forth, people who are invested in these comics and the folklore, and that's what I'm talking about, where you understand the mythology and then you bend it to make sense.
Because
and again, this is not about Superman and all of that, but and we had this heated discussion and back and forth. I don't have a problem with going dark with Superman, but you have to understand why you're doing it. You can't show me just two characters that's brooding. Yes, you respect the material and then you stretch it and make
Batman
it how you want it.
Superman work is a dichotomy of the two. One is day and one is night.
Exactly.
Both can't be brooding.
So now when you come into Infinity War, and there's so many things, like you guys said, that they took from the comic, and they also were able to make it fresh and new for anyone who has no clue of the connections of the comic. That is skill, right? And that is people understanding where the medium started.
I have a certain set of skills.
So for us, I was expecting, and many people who've watched these films and things like that and know about the comics and the backstory will say, oh, okay, well, it's Death. Well, we haven't seen Death personified yet, and the big rumor was that it's Hela. And then, and I said this previously on the Real and other iterations or whatever, that you think the Russos have clearly stated that they had to understand, like, well, if we introduce this character on screen, right, then the audience are going to say, well, why she has a relationship with Thanos to begin with.
They didn't build that.
And they nixed all of that and just go straight to Gamora, and it makes sense. That's his daughter. And they've been building that.
It was his daughter from
the rip.
First Guardian.
And she had this hatred for him.
This is why, again, I come back to Guardians 2. They talked about the relationship growing up there.
Right.
So seeing Guardians 2 lets me know what Thanos did and why Gamora hates him and is afraid of him.
Nebula
and
looks
why
like that.
Exactly.
Right.
So that Guardians 2 absolutely served the purpose.
That's why you really need to watch all of these movies.
I'm not saying Guardians 2 doesn't serve a purpose. I was just saying that's not one of my favorite movies.
Every single one served the purpose.
Now,
every single one was an episode in the long series that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
But here is the thing, right? And it's all about all
and
of
they
these
randomly
moments,
bring back Red Skull.
All of these moments
I don't think it was
are
random.
earned.
No, I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, you just do these things the right way.
Yeah,
and
because
it works.
like if you saw the first one, he disappeared when he held the Tesseract, so
Right.
he went inside the damn Soul Stone.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So all the moments in the MCU are earned.
Right.
Right? Like they plant seeds. Understand that they mentioned Wakanda and had Ulysses Claw in Avengers Part 2.
Right.
They had a bunch of other movies coming out, but let's put that there so you know it's on the map.
Right.
They said Stephen Strange
Right.
in Civil War.
Right.
He wasn't even in the movie, but let's just say it.
Right.
Right? That's what you do. And in the sort of DC universe, right? They want to get straight to Infinity War.
And it doesn't work like that.
You gotta put in the work, man. You gotta put in the work.
Literally,
you can't click on files in a goddamn computer and say, "Oh, we got a team now."
That's what I'm saying.
The F in an email. You just open up an email.
Like
it's just like, oh, okay. And they got logos too.
But this is the
they
thing.
already got logos
made by Lex. But whatever. Here's the thing.
It's just like, yo, that's dope. Did they have to pay Lex for the copyright usage of the logos that he made?
Oh no, he trademarks them. He's getting paid off them.
Okay.
But no. But the thing that I'm trying to say is,
he's just like, whatever shit y'all do, I get a piece.
In those in those DC movies, you know, they didn't respect the material, and they say this about writing. They didn't respect
the goddamn audience.
Even when you're writing, you have to know, if you're writing a novel or you're writing an article, you actually have to know the rules of the language you're writing in.
Right.
Right? In order to break those rules.
Right.
Yes.
Right? So now you shouldn't start a sentence with an and, right? You're not supposed to, but an expert writer can do it and make it right because they know the rules that they're breaking.
Right.
Right? I don't think that the top brass and Warner Brothers knew the rules they were breaking. Right. When the MCU breaks a rule or breaks away from some version of canon, because there's many versions of canon, they do it and you know why they did it. They do it with the knowledge of the rule that they're breaking. And so far, it has worked. Now, here's the next thing, because we're going to wrap this thing up soon.
Wrap it up, B. Before I start playing the Wrap It Up, B music.
Here is the thing. Just law of averages. We're 19 movies in. We really haven't had a miss. We had some okay movies, but we haven't had a couple stumbles. Miss.
Wait, before real quick, I want to say this really 2 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever.
You got a single, buddy.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there's a shot on Vormir when Thanos is in the water, and Thanos is in the water holding that Soul Stone, right? That is now I don't know for a fact, but I believe that and it's a beautiful shot. But shout out to Kentaro Miura, from the creator, one of my favorite artists and writers of all time in anime, manga, comics history, who created Berserk. And for those who know about Berserk and how influential that comic is, for people who followed Cloud and Final Fantasy VII, there's so many animes and characters that have been created, and it's all because of Kentaro Miura. And there's a shot.
This guy knows his shit.
There's a shot that Griffith is holding the Beerit. I might have said that wrong, right? Which is this powerful thing that grants you godlike powers or whatever. And he's standing in the water, and it's during the eclipse. And the sun is, and it's the sun and everything is standing. That whole shot is like, that was Thanos. And I'm like, yo, they had to have come across Berserk, the anime or something, and they were inspired and they brought that into MCU. Yeah. If not, whatever. But
no, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they pulled from all over the place. Now,
anyway, I digress.
Yes,
my bad.
You do digress.
No, but it has to be known for people who don't know that. Didn't come from Kentaro Miura is that dude.
Now, my question is 19 movies in.
Yes.
They're again, we just came off of Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, now Infinity War. 19 movies in, they just get better and better.
Yeah.
Law of averages, they're gonna have to put out a brick at some point. Like, there's no,
Yo,
you can't compare this to anything.
Don't compare Marvel to Guy. That's what I'm saying. Yo, don't compare Marvel to Guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
DC get the bag and fumble it. Marvel get the bag and flip it and tumble it. They know what they're doing with it. Okay.
So
they got this.
You think that the reason it's just some kind of like reverse karma thing?
I like that.
I was thinking about that the whole time.
I like that.
Do you think
you were trying to make sure you had that perfect when you said it?
I forgot it too. I was like, shit, what was I thinking?
Do you think that it's some reverse karma thing where like the reason Marvel is like firing on all cylinders, their misses are being diverted to DC? So for every bad movie DC does, that just puts two good ones in the Marvel bank.
Power up.
That's it.
Power up. Yeah, that's what's happening.
What they do is every time in between Marvel movies coming out, they go watch DC shit and they be like, that's what we're not going to do. And then they got it. It's just like, as long as we don't do that, we good.
We're good. We're wavy. I have a different take that, you know, like I was thinking more or less, and I was discussing this with my boy John or whatever, that right, everything has been leading up and building up to Infinity War. The whole conversation since the first movie, Thanos is coming. Thanos is coming. Yeah. Thanos is coming.
You see him look back and just smile.
And and I keep coming back to this because we're invested. Yeah. You know, they got us. They got our money.
This is the
That's
most
why it was so dope,
TV
man.
show.
And you remember because it's like the memory is just like so fickle. But the first time in the first Avengers movie, when we just saw and we realized, holy shit, they're
like
gonna
this
go
is going to happen. They're going for it. So that's what I'm saying, right? So
and we got to see it,
especially
and they did
because.
Right.
But just before that, just think about when we got the confirmation that Avengers was actually coming.
Right.
Because we didn't know that. Remember,
it started
it's a
with
foregone conclusion now. But what they did in the beginning, okay, we had a bunch of
They didn't know.
Hulk movie before. We had a bunch of Spider-Man and X-Men movies. But none of those characters ever crossed paths. So when at the end of the Hulk movie and at the end of the Iron Man movie, where they talked about the Avenger Initiative, and then Tony Stark walks in and talks to not Everett Ross, but Ross.
Right.
General Ross or whatever.
General Ross, right.
William Hurt. And then we knew the seeds were coming, but they're like, there's no way they're gonna do that. They're just gonna keep.
But they do it. Even on top of that, you show that, like you said, that smirk of Thanos, and you're like, wait, they're gonna bring Thanos into this, right? And we're getting amped. And so what I'm saying is that, or what I'm getting to is that all it's been building.
Been Avengers too, but they didn't do that.
No, they waited, but you kept building to see Thanos in this, and they've been telling everybody, the people that they've been inserting, the audience that's been coming along who've never seen these things, and now they get to say, okay, we've seen Thanos, and then they do a ballsy move where they kill people, right? In Infinity War, or phase them out, however you want to look at it.
Definitely coming back.
But my thing is that what I'm getting to is that Thanos is here. He's done what he's done. Even if Avengers 4, when that comes through, now what? You know, because the fans who are just here for this portion, are you going to convince them to stay? I think there might be a drop off in terms of the eyeballs on this thing. That's how I don't look at it as they're going to have a brick. I think Marvel's still going to keep pumping out really dope films, but are people going to say, well, okay, this can't be anything else beyond Thanos? Well, so is he the biggest, baddest? Who are you bringing in out of that chamber? That's the next big, and that's why it was. Thank you. That's why it was so important to get that fight. More importantly, to get Fantastic Four. To me, that's their next segue.
That's why they talked about the next phases and whatever, and it's like shit is just gonna keep changing. They're not gonna do like other people. Oh, we got this, and we're just gonna keep rebooting. No, they're gonna keep expanding the story, expanding the universe, bring in more characters and tell different stories.
You can't give people another X-Men.
And like do Doctor Doom right for the first time.
No, but this is the thing, right? I agree with you, right? But I think that's part of the plan. You have to scale it back. Right? You need to build up to whoever the next thing is.
This is their crescendo.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But
have a Weapon X movie with Wolverine, Sabretooth, Omega Red.
Listen, I think after this,
Lady Deathstrike, go for that shit.
You give the main Avengers a break. Right? And then you basically start up. And they know they may make a little bit less money from whatever the next series of movies is, even though Black Panther's gonna make him another $1 billion. Like we already know that.
None of these movies won't make less than $1 billion. None of them.
Well, Ant-Man, we'll see.
Maybe Ant-Man.
But
Ant-Man is a write-off.
No, but so I think that that's the right way to go. Pare it back. Bring down the budgets. Bring down the characters. Right? Because if you do that, because listen, too much of a good thing is a bad thing sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly.
And if you can't do, the reason this movie was so anticipated and broke all these records, because we were trained for it.
Yep.
They told you it's coming. Here's a little bit. I'm just throw a little bit at you.
Yep.
I'm gonna put a line in there, and then when you get it, you know you have to see
like,
it.
I was so hyped for this movie.
Cultural event, and it.
You remember when we seen the Comic-Con bootleg trailer footage? How like we watched it like 20, 30 times. I was like, holy shit, that grainy shit.
Yeah, with him throwing the moon. But this is the thing.
Crazy.
Courtney says they could bring in Kang, the Destroyer.
There's a lot of people
they can introduce
No, but again, you just have to sprinkle seeds. We'll see them 5 years from now.
Right.
Yo, right? Man, you know who I want to see? Because we haven't seen them yet, but now that they own it, you know, they about to own the Fox properties.
If Comcast own
you. Oh, you
Fox
have no.
Shut up! Don't you put that energy in the air. I want to see Mr. Sinister in an X-Men movie.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right. So
Mr.
Sinister, Mr. Kiss My Ass is just a
now. This guy gets it.
So I think
I have like a whole story from Mr. Sinister in my head.
What was so amazing about this, and what was so important about this film, aside from it being the culmination, they had, and this is, I keep coming back to the Star Wars reference because they have made the MCU cosmic now. Like, it was a little side thing with Guardians of the Galaxy there in space. But the way they opened up the universe with this.
And they had to.
Right? They've basically said that we can do anything.
Yep.
Right? Now, just look at this is the first time in the MCU they were on these amazing vistas. Look at how visually spectacular Vormir was.
That's what I'm talking about.
Inside of the Soul Stone, when they're traveling from planet to planet.
When they're on Titan.
Yeah, we are. This is interstellar
when he's using the space stone
stuff now, and this
as
gives
opposed
them the
to red clouds and dust.
No, but I'm saying this gives them the opportunity to tell these epic. Like, this was an epic, right? I get it's a superhero
forgive us
movie.
again for being dishonest and disingenuous with our rating of that trash ass movie.
Look,
we're reputable.
I'm just saying that now the game is because we're bringing in all the space characters, right? Captain Marvel is a space character.
Right.
They've already talked about bringing in Nova, bringing in the Eternals. We know we're gonna have more Guardians, and things will spin out from there. So I am super interested and not worried about what they do, but I do want to tell smaller character stories, and we'll get to the team ups later. I'm okay not seeing another Avengers movie after we find out what happens.
After you get the wrap up.
Busts Thanos' ass. I'm cool.
I mean, maybe.
Let's
Thor.
wait.
Thank you.
I mean Hulk.
Or Captain Marvel.
I mean Hulk.
I mean Thor.
Or Adam Warlock.
He's not going to be there. But the point is,
he will be at the end of it.
Thor is actually chopping off his hand with that guy.
I'm putting that prediction out there right now. By the end of the fourth Infinity, Avengers 4, Adam Warlock will be holding that gauntlet.
I don't. Could happen. Because
I'm just saying.
James Gunn might not know what the F he's talking about.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of ways they could wrap this story up.
Okay. Now, my next question is, what are your predictions for the next Avengers?
Avengers gonna win. Duh.
What? No. Okay. What do we think is gonna be called?
It's gonna be called the Infinity Gauntlet.
Now the Russo brothers have said they heard a lot of things and nobody's gotten it right yet, but they said Avengers Forever is the closest one to it. That's not it.
Right.
But that's the closest one to it.
You mean like in terms of what they've heard about what the fans were saying, and then, but they said no one's hit it yet. How dope is that? This movie's coming out in less than a year now. We don't even know what it's going to be called.
Avengers Forever? Oh, so it's going to be called Avengers Infinity. That's it.
Avengers Infinite or something like
that.
Yeah,
Avengers
right?
Infinite. That's it.
Yeah. Or I think it's going to be called Secret Wars. But
I don't know.
I'll
stick with Avengers Infinite.
Secret Wars. So what they're gonna do? Push back freaking Venom for a year so that they can introduce him there.
Venom has nothing to do with this. Don't put
in
Venom
association with Marvel, baby. Black Goop.
In
association with
side
Marvel.
Piece. Venom can't come over for Christmas.
You work for some really bad people.
Come on, we ain't talking about that.
Symbiote.
Okay. Ooh, Avengers Eternal. Courtney says.
Ooh, actually, I like his style there because that's a hint on the Eternals.
Yeah.
That brings up the Eternals, the connection to the Celestials.
Who is going to make it out?
Make it out of what?
Who's going to make it out?
Like actually live?
Who will survive in America? Who will survive in America?
We're back down to the original crew.
Lost in the world.
Right.
But who's going to make it out alive?
Hulk.
Avengers 4.
Hulk is going to make it
alive.
out
Yeah, Hulk lives.
Because he's the strongest. But go ahead.
Cap dies.
He got washed.
Cap definitely dies.
Cap dies.
Tony probably dies.
Now, there was this,
it's going to be sad, but Cap definitely is biting the bullet.
You know what's the thing? Because
that's the one person I can say for sure is dying.
That's a hard sell, because I remember, I mean, they're not doing the comics, but I remember there was this great run of this guy named, what's his name, Abomination? Dang, I forgot his name. But he was the opposite of Hulk. Do you remember him?
Who?
I believe his name was.
I didn't hear you.
I said I believe his name was. It wasn't Abomination. I forgot his name. He was. He was the opposite of Hulk, right?
That was Abomination.
No. But there was he had a gray beard. His name started with an A. Thank you, not an A. Maestro, man.
I thought Maestro was an old version of the Hulk.
Huh?
Maestro's not the Hulk when he gets old?
No.
Okay.
No. He was like he just ran rampant.
No, I know Maestro. I just always thought he was. I don't know why.
Or like some alternate universe Hulk.
Yeah, it was like an alternate. Yeah, it was like an alternate. And I remember he had Captain America in a chair because he couldn't die.
Okay.
Right. So he couldn't. Yeah. So he just aged and he was just in a wheelchair. And then he died by Wolverine's adamantium claws stabbing him.
Is this an Old Man Logan?
Huh?
Old Man Logan.
You talking about Hulk?
No.
Or
Maestro. Captain America couldn't die. I mean, he couldn't die, but he grew old because he lived for a long time. Cap was, and Wolverine. He ripped them off. He ripped his adamantium out of his body and just killed because you couldn't kill Wolverine, so he just ripped it out.
Courtney says he is the Hulk, Maestro.
That Maestro's the Hulk?
Yeah, I've always thought it was the Hulk. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
Okay. So my whole point of bringing Maestro up is just that Captain America he doesn't die. You know what I mean? He just lives for a very long time. So I don't know how they're going to sell it where you're actually watching him die, bite the bullet.
I think they have to get rid of the original Avengers.
So you say Captain America and Tony Stark are both out of there?
I think so. And I think Natasha's gonna go, and Hulk is gonna lose his shit.
Yeah, and Hawkeye might go.
And I think Thor is gonna get more movies.
They waited to bring Hawkeye in just so he could die in the next one. In the first 5 minutes.
I think if anybody makes it out alive, it's gonna be
Hawkeye.
I think so.
Because we all clamoring to see more Hawkeye.
No, it's not that.
Because people is
he definitely has a family.
Archery is really a big thing in 2018.
Hey man.
Yeah, but you know what'd be crazy though? Even if when people got phased out, half the population had got phased out.
Yeah,
that his family.
You realize that the only reason that Hawkeye was ever introduced in the first place was just so that they could do that scene with him shooting Ant-Man off the arrow in Civil War.
But how dope is that?
And the only reason they made an Ant-Man movie is just so they could do that?
I'm not complaining about that.
I'm not. It's just but that shows you how to do shit instead of, a computer file that you click on.
Listen.
It's just we make whole movies for beeline characters that don't nobody give a crap because it fleshes out the story so that it pays off big in those moments.
Listen,
that's what you have. You got to plan. But Avengers 4. So who do you think's making it out? Because I think all of the originals die except for maybe Hulk and Thor.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thor lives, Hulk lives.
Thor lives, Hulk definitely lives.
Actually, you know what?
Scarlet Witch lives.
Maybe Thor sacrifices himself to beat Thanos. And
I don't think so.
Also,
I think that would be Cap.
You know we have.
But then you have a female Thor
You know
who could
we
come
have
into
to come
place.
back, Valkyrie. You know we have to come back to.
She's
no,
just
it would be Jane Foster. They would bring back her.
But they don't have to do that. They don't.
No,
have to
not
in the comics.
exactly.
Jane Foster.
No, it is Jane Foster, but they're not gonna give what's Natalie Portman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because this that way in the comics, they could make anybody.
And Thor is just Odin's son.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is like they could make Valkyrie the new Thor. Why does it have to be?
Thor's not gonna die.
Okay.
I bet money on that.
I get what you're saying there.
I always thought that after Ragnarok, I thought Thor was going to be the new Odin.
Right.
Because they got rid of his eye. You know what I'm saying?
He is the new Odin.
So, he could still go. He could still go mad. He can, go crazy. He is
just as powerful because Odin was like how you were saying, like Odin could do whatever. Thor, when Odin died, he got the power of Odin. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like
by the way, this is
another
note.
Right.
And they didn't say this, but like I'm just putting the pieces together. Thanos does not show up until the Ancient One and Odin are gone.
Yeah.
How ill is that? Because you know there's some kind of correlation.
But that's the same shit.
He could have been showed up, but they had to do that. You had to get rid of the protectors of the realms before Thanos could show up. Because if the Ancient One and Odin was there,
with that flipping reality and shit like that,
I don't think
like
that
flipping
Thanos
on each other.
Listen,
like,
I got one for you.
Odin would have smacked up Thanos real quick.
I got one for you.
Like Doctor Strange isn't that advanced yet. He's getting there, but he's not that.
Because if Thor,
Doctor Strange is doing his thing though.
I know, but he need time. He need time in the dojo.
Listen,
he's getting better.
I got one for y'all.
Okay.
The Celestials created the Deviants and the Eternals, right?
Okay.
The Eternals are godlike, right? They live for a millennia, and they're protectors of Earth and things like that, right? Thanos, right? Some of the Eternals left their world and went on to Titan, which is a moon of Saturn, right? Thanos and
hold on one second. Courtney says they're gonna bring in. They should bring in Beta Ray Bill. They will bring in Beta Ray Bill because that whole Stormbreaker plays into the Beta Ray Bill story.
Yeah, it brings it to the story.
But Beta Ray Bill is coming.
But we're gonna see a lot of to me in Avengers 4 you're gonna see a lot of different races like the Kree and all of them.
I don't know that. I think they're gonna pare it back down to be the original Avengers. Like they gotta solve this. They started it. They gotta fix it.
They're gonna get help. It's going to be big. It has to be, yes, they're going to solve it, but it has to be bigger than them. You're going to have Captain Marvel, and you're going to have, in her movie, you're going to segue into understanding the Kree. You're going to have understanding of that there's other sentient races out there. And so that's how you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is what was going on. So now, as I said, we talk about how are they going to introduce mutants into the MCU. One of the things that should be acknowledged, right, based on just comic book, right, is that Thanos is technically a mutant.
Okay, talk to me about this. I thought he's technically an Eternal.
Yes, he is. But he's a mixture of Deviant and Eternal.
Oh, so what does that have to do with a mutt?
Because he's the only one who looks like that from his from the race.
He looks like a Kree.
Yeah. He got the testicle chin.
Yes, he does.
Okay, now here's the thing, though. I think the avenue to bring in, or the Skrulls, I think the avenue to bring in the mutants is Carol Danvers. Because remember, Rogue got her powers from stealing them from Carol Danvers.
Yeah,
who got her powers from a Kree, who was Mr. Marvel.
I'm trying to backtrack what the facts I'm dropping on here.
I'm just saying.
Let me live with my Rogue moment. My point is...
I'm just saying, man.
Rogue steals Carol Danvers' powers, and Carol kills Carol Danvers, and Carol Danvers lives inside of her, and they're fighting for control, and then they end up separating again. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but she is the avenue, if this all works out, to bring in at least one of the mutants. I don't know if you want to start your thing with Rogue, but you could.
Fun fact, the Mr. Marvel, who is Kree, right? His original name was Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, which we know.
Wasn't Shazam called Captain Marvel too?
Yeah, but they were coming at what's his name? Jal-El or something like that. Kal-El.
Wait, what? What are we talking about?
Kal-El, right?
Superman.
Yeah.
How do we get to Superman?
Mr. Marvel.
Okay.
Right, who's Kree. right? His name was Marvel. Specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did that.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying.
All right. Now, we did predictions. Did we leave anything on the table? Is there anything we got to discuss about this thing?
I think we discussed pretty much the whole thing. I think it's dope. I think they're doing a great job. I think they still got me excited. There's no superhero fatigue. I know that, the rest of Hollywood is hating because it's just like, damn, can we eat too? The F. Ain't nobody going to see our little Ricky Dick films when y'all going to see all of this stuff.
Did 84% of the box office numbers on this opening weekend.
It's like
Savage.
Nobody else can't eat when it's just like Marvel making all the money, and like I get it. Like these other people's just like, damn, how we gonna keep making movies like these little passion pieces, about people being maids and slaves and shit. If y'all taking up, all the goddamn box office.
I don't think I think people
stuff.
look at the success of a thing and try to take away from it, but I don't think it's the whole industry, right?
Yeah.
Marvel puts out 3 movies a year. Those are really the only superhero movies that are working, right? So why not let Marvel be Marvel? Let them continue to do their thing, and then let's denigrate bad movies.
But here's the whole thing, though. If you're putting out 3 movies a year,
superhero, whatever.
By the time one is done, the next one done its theatrical release, the next one's in there. So it's just they're always in there.
They're teeing up, and I heard them say that they want to, for Phase 4, potentially move to 4 movies.
Yep, ain't nobody eating but them. That's it.
And that is kind of scary.
One every quarter.
Nobody will eat, bro. It's just they're like, damn, everybody just better start streaming services because it's like Marvel getting all the money.
So they're just trying to get a Billy each quarter.
Yeah, well, just for that. And let's think, if we're just talking about Disney, okay, that's 4 months. You're doing Marvel movies, right?
Right.
How you're gonna do Star Wars movies,
right?
Right.
Every Christmas,
and then you're gonna do your Pixar movie,
right?
Right. And then you're gonna do
spring
your remake of the old
summer
cartoon movie.
Speaking of Pixar, I am so hyped for this Incredibles.
Or and it's
gonna be little kids there. I'm not that I'm not gonna take my kids, but I'll probably go see that shit without my kids. Like, don't judge me.
Merchandising, Hasbro, bro, making all the money.
All the money, bro.
All of those figures, every single figure, they're getting all of that money.
Yeah, I was talking to Yabi about this. Hasbro owns everything. Like, Hasbro makes the Star Wars toys. Hasbro makes the Marvel toys. Hasbro makes the Transformers toys. Hasbro now making the Power Rangers. So they make all the money.
Honestly,
every property that's out, they getting a cut of it.
This is a complete,
all Hasbro, right?
All Hasbro.
This is a completely
They are the
separate
conglomerate.
thing, but I am actually, not that Hasbro has been doing well with Transformers, but if they could actually turn Power Rangers into something good, like I would like to see like a Space Voltron. Right?
Wasn't that the last Power Rangers?
No, that was
trash.
Hot garbage. My God, that was terrible.
Did any of y'all see that Power Rangers shit with James Vanderbeek that was on YouTube?
Yeah, they should have did that.
They should have did that.
But anyway, we're talking about Infinity War. All right.
The Blue Ranger died in the water because
thoughts.
Black people can't swim.
Mr. Woods, final thoughts. Avengers, Infinity War.
I thought you were talking about the Blue Ranger. He couldn't swim.
We're not talking about that. Not even a little.
Final thoughts. The movie is amazing. There's so many Easter eggs in that film that it's out of control. Thanos walking out at the end, and then just having that little scarecrow right there in the corner, in the right corner, where he hangs up his armor. That because that's his home world, not his home world, but that's his where he lays his head.
When he finally got to sit down and look at the sunset, he was just like exactly what he said he wanted to do. He just wanted to kick up his shoes and relax his feet.
It's a long movie to watch, right? There's no doubt about it, but it's just so satisfying, man.
I wanted more.
I could have watched a 5-hour movie of that.
It's so satisfying, and so to me, just the patience, the time, the attention to detail that Marvel has had. Obviously, it's a DC property, so whatever. I mean, not DC, a Disney property, so whatever. But nonetheless, the attention to detail, and everything that they brought to the table, to have such a payoff, to say thank you to the fans for sticking with us, I can't applaud them any more than I've already had, because never in my wildest dreams would I have thought I would have seen something as like phenomenal as this. Yeah. So.
And when was the last time you were this hyped for a thing and it actually lived up to that hype? I can't tell you when ever.
Made me want to stick a fork in a socket. You know, just
kill yourself.
I was just ready.
When I watched it, I couldn't believe it was as good as it was, because I was just there trying to keep my expectations down, because I was just like, if I get too high, it's gonna be whack.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me go into it expecting nothing. And like at first, I was just there trying to contain my excitement, even from the very beginning when Hulk was fighting, Thanos, and it's just like, oh, I should be losing my shit right here.
Right.
Like, Hulk is fighting Thanos, holy shit! But I was just like, whatever. But that was just there, like when it kept going on, I was just there, like it was like at a level, and then it kept peaking and peaking and peaking.
Yeah, it did.
It kept leveling up. There
Yes,
was no
did.
part where it dragged. Anytime something somber happened, then they'd bring it right back up with the comedy. We didn't even talk about it when Drax was just there, like I can stand very still. I'm invisible.
The
that shit. Oh my god!
So hard from everybody.
And I heard he added
and it wasn't too much though. It wasn't like
I know.
Like
did you hear that?
too many jokes.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they ad-libbed that. Yeah, I heard about that.
The way the jokes hit and the way the action was, and then the drop, like the movie.
He took Robert Downey Jr.'s snacks. That's what it was, because he leaves like snacks everywhere on the set.
The movie literally makes you laugh and cry and sit at the edge of your seat. You don't know what's gonna happen next. You scream, everything. Like, I don't understand what more a movie could do.
Nothing.
This is the best MC.
Anybody who didn't like it, I don't respect your opinion. You thought it was trash. You trash. F you talking about?
Big budget movie. It was well worth it, man.
I think this movie is good enough to win awards. Not that it is, but it should. It should be considered.
Black Panther might win.
Black Panther, it should. It should.
Now, this is the other thing that I want to point out. How dope was it? And usually we get mad at this stuff, right?
It's definitely going to win MTV awards.
But they literally they spent millions of dollars to make trailers that would never make it to the movie. Like, these are big millions of dollars
just
CG
to
shots.
fake you out.
And you love them for it. Because you went in. How many movies
don't know
do
what's
you
gonna
see
happen.
a trailer for, and it's like, oh, I know what that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
The trailer is solely created by Marvel to build up the hype. It's not to tell you the whole movie so you know what's going to happen when you go to see the movie. You watch a DC trailer, you know what the F is going to happen. It's just they're like, why should I even go see the movie?
Right.
And look, that is good marketing, because they're going to spend tens, if not hundreds of millions on marketing. Why not have some of those millions be on? Let's spend a couple million for this 3-second scene that's not going to be in the movie, because it's going to get people in there, the money shot. And I wasn't mad that they didn't do it. I remember when the snap happened, even though the bad guy won, I felt, even though I hate Thanos, I felt so satisfied with what they did, because when the snap happened and people started disappearing,
it was
shit. And then when you saw he really did it.
They did it.
And when Black Panther disappeared, even though at that point you kind of knew, okay, they're coming back, because if they didn't disappear, Peter and Black Panther, you could have just been like, oh, they're just dead, they're never coming back. Right, but you kind of felt okay.
Once it was new dudes, the new friends, dying, I was just like, they're coming back. If it was the older ones, I was just like, that's it, their contract is up. And I expected the older people to die so they could continue with the newer people.
Because you expected that, they didn't do it. But this is what I'm saying: when they took Black Panther, then it was like anybody could get it. You don't know who's gonna go. Forget about who they're gonna bring back a year from now. Anybody could get it, and when you're watching, like, oh, him too. Oh, Bucky. Oh.
Not my guy.
Oh, no. The whole Guardians is gone. Damn. And when Peter went.
Satisfying.
And it was just like, and then when he sat down, he's like, oh, wait, hold on. And I tapped LeVar on the shoulder.
You talking about Iron Man? Right here. When Iron Man,
No. I'm saying when Thanos, like, after everybody had died, when they just showed him sitting down and doing exactly what he said he's going to do, and I tapped LeVar, I was like, they're doing it. They're really doing it. They're going to end it right here. And then the credits rolled, even though everybody died, I was like,
Everyone's genius.
And then they go and tell you.
They show you Avengers.
Thanos will return.
The words Avengers into dust, but Thanos will return.
Just
Thanos will return.
Thanos will return. And then there's like, oh, by the way,
Nick Fury, he's going too.
Hold on. How do you? This is another other ground that they broke that I don't think people are acknowledging. When was the black people have been killed in the intro to the movie? They've been killed in the middle of the movie. How do they kill you after the credits is over? Killing black people after the trailers. You know, black people die in movies. You didn't think about that, did you?
So the first person that they killed into Infinity War was this guy. Heimdall.
Oh, one other thing.
First person. And then at the very end, Sam Jackson. Okay.
Thanos is racist. Look, but this is the thing.
I don't know how I feel about this movie anymore.
This is the thing that now, this is what I respect about Thanos as a character. He does not kill for sport. Anybody
it's
he
about
didn't
balance.
have to
he
kill,
told you it's balance.
But think about this: the Avengers were never a threat to him. He didn't kill them unless he killed Vision because he needed to kill Vision. And people said, "Oh, but he killed Heimdall. He just did that for no reason." No, Heimdall could have teleported them out of there, so he had to kill Heimdall to stop him from using the Bifrost.
Right.
So that's why he killed him. It's not because, and he killed Loki because Loki betrayed him. Right? Remember, Loki was working for him in the first Avengers.
Right.
Right? So that's why he killed. He never killed just to say, "Oh, I'm a bad guy, I'm killing." It wasn't about death for him.
Right.
But that's it. I cannot.
Even though his name means he's obsessed with death, but whatever.
Don't worry about that.
All right.
Don't worry about that. All right. Anybody got any final parting words? And I'm sending us out of here.
The movie was great. If you haven't seen it, you slacking. Slap yourself in the face.
All right.
I've seen it twice already. I might go see it another time.
I'm seeing it a fourth time tomorrow. Why don't you, while I have you here, tell them where they can find you, good sir.
The Dude Abides, with a Z at the end and a couple periods between, and always up in your girl. But
okay. Mr. Woods, where can they find you?
Why Woods, Why Not on most social media platforms, or whywoodswhynot.com. And I just want to.
We got another article coming?
Yeah, we do actually. Okay. I just want to. Okay, all right, you gotta do that. I just want to say that also. This is like after stuff, but how they introduced the Black Order, and you don't know.
We didn't even talk about that. Well,
I know. But I didn't want to do it. But
was the Black? Okay, we got to leave that for another day.
Yeah,
we may have to do a part 2 to this thing.
Ebony Maw was that dude. Ebony Maw just
that dude.
And Proxima Midnight. They all could have been villains in their own
movie.
You
got see. But I'm just saying.
That's it. We're already
talking an hour and a half.
All right. I am your host.
With the most.
I try. But you can find me on your favorite social media network as long as it's not Snapchat. And you can also, if you're into politics, you can check us out every Saturday on the second page. And if you want to hear dads talking about dad stuff, bi-weekly or once a monthly, we do the 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. You can check us out there.
Whatever's clever.
And we have more things coming, more reviews coming, and
dudes and dads, man, they busy,
stuff.
Bro.
Please do us a favor.
Like share,
comment,
subscribe.
Tell your friends about it. It's always a pleasure. And that's it.
Hugs, not drugs. Don't forget.
Hugs, not drugs. And
drugs are okay as long as it's weed.
The Black Order, man.
Okay.
Later.
All right, folks. Avengers. See it again.